friends, welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to afternoon tea. And I just remembered I actually didn't go get my tea, but I started the stream anyways. So if you just watched, I just streamed how I set up all of this stuff to get streaming live and how I am floating with this background and how all of these things are working and all that good stuff. So check out that video. But I just thought it's been a while since I last streamed what I used to call my morning tea streams. And in the show, I kind of just browse the web, find cool things, and find something to code on. But it's the afternoon, so let's call it afternoon tea. I do have a GitHub repo where all of the past episodes, it's been probably 3 months, close to 3 months since the last episode. But typically, I just browse Reddit, find interesting things to talk about, and usually find like a library or a framework or something that's new out there that I might try coding on or working with. And hello, Meyer Textor Oliver, welcome. Meyer is asking, why is there no join button for your channel? Do you mean like members? Because you have to have like, I think 100,000 subscribers before you can become a member or a sponsor or something like that. And Oliver says, nice table edge you got there. Appreciate it. I was having issues with my camera placement and I don't I can't see it exactly, but let me know. Are my eyes disappearing? Because I was having issues with my blue screen where the whites of my eyes were disappearing. But I adjusted the camera. I think it's okay. My water can go right there. How about that? Cool. And hello, Rudy. Welcome to the stream. Taylor says, you should try doing a video sharing website with Vue and Vuetify. Interesting. So video sharing like YouTube, you mean? Or you share a YouTube link on the video sharing site? That's an interesting thought. Okay. Honestly, I want to go get some tea. What can I do while I go get some tea? I could just leave it here and go get some tea. Or I could start browsing the web. What about royalty-free music? Let me put on some chill vibes and I'll be right back. Appreciate that, Meyer. If you do want to support Meyer, so you can check me out on Patreon. Patreon.com/codinggarden with CJ. Yes. So I only have one tier right now. It's the $5 tier. And if you join that tier, you get access to more exclusive channels on Discord. My Discord is actually open for anyone to join, but if you're a patron, you have special channels, and then there's also like a patron suggestions channel, and any suggestions that get thrown in there typically have a higher priority in the types of videos that I make. So if you do want to support me, you can support me here. It's probably going to be a while before I get to 100,000 subscribers and I'm able to use the YouTube monetization. Oh. Oliver's mentioning about seeing through my eyes. I think you would tell. It would be like, wait, can I do this? I don't know. I think it's fixed. Yeah, so you can support me there if you want to. There's also, you can do like a one-time donation. There's a link in the description, but however you feel is necessary. Yes, here's what I'm going to do. I believe there is Chill Cow royalty free music. Let me make sure it's muted right now. Wait, no, not that one. It's Chill Cow. Chilled Cow. Playlists. Copyright free music. Okay, let me set up the audio. Audio goes out the HDMI. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Oh well, let's just do this. It's a great. All right, today we don't know what we're going to code, but we are going to browse the web and maybe find something. So let's start with r/JavaScript. And we'll start here. So this first one says, I made a credit card form with input masking and credit card animations. Let's check it out. I think it's a code pin. Ooh. If you've ever used Stripe, I think it's like 2424. Oh no, that's the card holder name. CJR. 424, 42424, 42424. That's pretty cool. Whoa! And you put like your expiration date, 0424. Security code, 123. That is really cool. Like that. And you probably can see all of the code they used to do it. Let's see. Let's put it on. Oh, don't fork it. No, go back. This way. Cool. So, got some divs. Oh, looks like they're using SVG for the card itself and its layout. That's pretty cool. And then there's some styles. And it looks like, yeah, they're just using regular plain old DOM manipulation. Doesn't look like they're using any extra library. iMask, never heard of that. Very cool. Oh, Oliver's asking, I wonder if it puts the MX security code on the correct side. I also wonder if they're harvesting the data. Well, we could check. Let's look at their JavaScript, because it would have to be, I guess it could potentially be CSS, like sending it off to a server somewhere. But they have, I think, like card validation logic. Oh, they do have a Amex icon. It appears, I guess, like each different brand has an SVG that they load the icon for. What? Amex credit card detection? Like, what is an Amex card? I don't know what I'm searching for right now. What card starts with 3727? List of issuer identification cards. Here we go. Amex. I can't believe I'm talking about this on stream right now. We're not making fake credit cards. So cards beginning with 34 or 37 are Amex. Let's see. So card number 34, 37, and then security code. No, and I guess Amex security codes are like put in a different location. Ah, Oliver is saying try this fake Amex number. Yeah, that one starts with 37. 37. Are you sure that's fake? 82822, and I'm just gonna type some other things. Cool. Oh, Quillhor said their cards started putting the number on the back. Yeah, I don't know, but that's super interesting. So that's like there's a CSS animation to flip it over. They have SVG icons for all of the different credit card companies, and it's a lot of code. So somewhere in there they might actually. Oh, I didn't realize generate random. Somewhere in here they might be harvesting your credit card information. Maestro JCB. That's really cool. Let's look at the comments on Reddit. Actually, let me. Oops. Hey, that's my credit card number. So Oliver's saying Amex supports a 4 security code. Oh, yeah. But if it's... Oh, no, it supports 4 regardless of the card type. Okay, this first comment, neat little thing, very cool. A couple of comments on the code if you're interested. Let's take a quick stretch. Hello, Karthik. Welcome to the stream. Oh, nice invisible cup. Is it invisible? Does it like get Oh, look at that. You can hide my head. One thing, so I just did the stream where I talked about how I set everything up. One thing I didn't talk about is lighting. So in here, the lights are bright enough that the blue screen seems to work well enough. But back home in Denver, I actually have like umbrella lights that light up the room so that the blue screen works better. I still have issues like this. Three Tractor donated $5. Let me see if I can read this message. Cheers from Macedonia. Keep it up, CJ. You rock. Thanks so much, Three Tractor. Thank you. That's great. Okay, a couple of comments on the code. Don't be inconsistent with var. If you're already using let, might as well use it throughout. Yeah. Favor strict or equality convention with triple equals versus double equals. Now, I was helping someone code yesterday, and this triple equals versus double equals, it bit us. We debugged something for a good 10-15 minutes because we were comparing the ID in a URL, which is a string, it's not a number, with the ID in an object using strict equality, and it wasn't working. So every now and then loose equality is kind of what you want, but I don't know. Use camel case versus snake case in JavaScript. You can do whatever you want in JavaScript, so just be consistent, I would say. Cool. This is the best card number phishing site I've ever seen. That was what Oliver was mentioning. So like they could potentially just, any credit card number you type in there, just like send it to a server and save it. Cool card flip animation when different fields are selected. Thank you. Very slick. Okay, I think I'll stop talking about this because this stream is not about fake credit card numbers or anything like that, but it was a really cool animation and validator. Oh, and that's what I was mentioning, Oliver. When I look in a certain direction, my eye goes transparent. I don't know if it's the lighting today or maybe the shirt I wore. I don't really know. Okay. Actually, I'll save the link to this. Typically, I like to save links to things, and then after the show, you can click the links and check them out yourself. Let's close that. Okay, I made my first JavaScript thing. First interview, React Fire, modernizing React DOM. Interesting. Let's look at this. I made my first JavaScript thing. So it's rather basic and simple, but I'm happy with how it turned out, given I've never JS'd or HTML'd or CSS'd before. I don't know if I've ever heard these as verbs, JavaScripted or HTML'd. Let's see what they made. Ooh, look at that. Oh, what's... There's some like random characters there. Maybe they did that for spacing. Very interesting. Oh, and they're saying like when you resize the window, let's see. Oh, yeah, when it gets smaller. Cool. Awesome work. Try to optimize on mobile. Keep up the good work. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right, let's look at this React Fire thing. I have not heard of it yet. React Fire, modernizing React DOM. This year, the React team has mostly been focused on fundamental improvements to React. As this work is getting closer to completion. Oh, and this is Dan Abramov. Yeah. He's the creator of Redux. Sorry. As we get closer to completion, we're starting to think of what the next major release of React DOM should look like. There are quite a few known problems, etc., etc. Okay, what is React Fire? React Fire is an effort to modernize React DOM. Our goal is to make React better aligned with how the DOM works. Revisit some controversial past decisions that led to problems, and make React smaller and faster. Cool. So I'm guessing I can't use this. It just is used under the hood in React. I mean, I could use it, but the news here is the internals of React are being updated, and this thread is talking about it. Cool. Let's share this. Happy just asks, are you starting a big project from scratch anytime soon? Haven't planned on it. Like my streaming schedule has been so off since I moved to New York because for one, if you saw earlier, like every time I stream, I have to set up everything from scratch. I am teaching class now, so I have less time to prepare. So probably not. And I do want to try and wrap up and finish a few of the projects that I have that still need a little bit of work. So I do want to do those within the next month or so. Something will probably start. But I still have the full stack forum that could use some work. I have the Reddit clone with Firebase that could use some work. I have the Trello clone, which is technically working, but you can't like reorder cards, so that could use some work. So I do want to like put some finishing touches on those before I move on to something else, but I do plan to eventually, just not anytime soon. Okay. Stupid meme-worthy JavaScript project, type a sentence. Let's see it. Coding garden is fun. Every space gets replaced with an emoji. This is so cool. Wow, emojis in the spaces. Who would have thought? That's awesome. I approve. Now I can truly feel like one of those people who type in that bad way. Nice work. I think it would be better if it can replace a word with emoji. Ooh, okay. Potential thing that we code at the end. What if, as you type, words get turned into emoji? Like if I type the word mountain, it gets turned into a mountain emoji. That would be really cool. Or like, smile, you're on candid camera. But like smile would get turned into the smile emoji. I don't know what candid would be, but camera, there is an emoji for camera. That would be super fun and interesting. Cool. Mayer says, my biggest problem with React is JSX and the templating engine. The thing is, it's fairly simple in that there are not a lot of extra concepts associated with it. However, it is inside of JavaScript, so there are things about JavaScript you have to know in order to be able to use JSX. But it definitely is tricky when you're first learning it. Quillhorse asked, so your job is teaching in New York right now? Yes, I teach at a place called Galvanize. I teach in a full stack immersive program. Okay, first I was corrected on my grammar. Smile, you are on candid camera. And does fireplace get turned into fireplace? Oh, so like if I said fireplace, like parts of words would get replaced with emojis. Maybe. I like this idea. This could be really fun to code. And Oliver's asking about React Suspense. Is it usable yet? I have not heard of it. React Suspense. And there's a polyfill. Interesting. Dan Abramov unveiled a new feature for API for React called React Suspense. In case you missed it, watch the talk. In short, the new feature allows you to defer rendering part of your application tree until some condition is met. For example, data from an endpoint or resource is loaded. Okay. Yeah, and so like in JSX, this is kind of what I was talking about with JSX syntax is like, you can do this, but you have to use like a ternary, and you have to use something on state that says, if this is happening, show this. If this is not happening, show the other thing. So how would this help? With this approach, we need to either implement, so this is the approach that I'm talking about. In order to fix those, let's look at the live demo. Load data. The content is still loading. Hello world. Okay. Let's see how they do it. They create a cache, they create a resource. Interesting. Okay, I cannot deduce what this does exactly or which part of it is the suspense API. And Mayur just pledged on Patreon. Thank you so much, Mayur. You rock. Appreciate it. And if you have trouble getting into the Discord, just let me know. But it should hook right up, and you'll be able to access the more exclusive channels. Cool suggestion from Bob. Make it a Chrome extension so whenever you type, it changes the text on the web page itself. Ooh. Chrome extension changes text on the page. Wow. Hello, Dash. Welcome to the stream. Okay. You have a resource fetcher, a cache provider, and an abstractor of the API. And then you render it. It's too much for me, Oliver. Maybe you can describe it in a few words. But I mean, I think it's a way of conditionally rendering things based on when stuff is happening, but it provides a better API. Don't know. Cool. Learned JavaScript doesn't transfer properly on other places. Let's see what they have to say about this. So in my school, we all signed up for online education site called Khan Academy. And when I was browsing through it one day, I noticed there was a JavaScript course which went really in depth into it. I learned some of it and it was really great. But basically, yeah, so they learned about JavaScript through this website, but it had like very specific things that aren't exactly built into JavaScript. Like rect and ellipse and fill, and they work nowhere else but Khan Academy. And actually, so if you're coming from Coding Train, you might have seen P5.js before, and it has a lot of built-in functions like this that aren't JavaScript. It's a separate library. So this person is just asking, like, how do you differentiate between those things? So I know I'm probably being stupid. No, you're not. Come on. But I'm still a beginner in coding, and I'd like to know how to transfer my knowledge I learned from Khan Academy to other places. Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is, okay, maybe JavaScript doesn't have a function built into it called ellipse, but it is possible to create an ellipse with JavaScript. So I would start there and start searching and say, well, how do I create an ellipse with JavaScript without any external libraries? And that would probably lead you to something like Canvas or something like that. And really it comes down to just like reading documentation. Let's see. Those functions are indeed a library. For pure JavaScript, my go-to is the MDN docs. And yeah, absolutely. If you ever watch my Code Kata stream or you ever watch me coding here, like I'm on MDN all the time. This has documentation for the standard things built into the browser and built into the JavaScript language, and tells you all about it and how to use it. So this is a great resource. Yeah, and there's also caniuse.com. So this talks about various features and what browsers they're supported in. So like, let's say promises, which are I think an ES 2015 JavaScript feature. And here you can see what browsers promises are supported in. We were mentioning Canvas. Let's talk about Canvas. And that's pretty much supported in all browsers. So if you figure out how to use Canvas, that will pretty much work in any browser that you're in. So this is another really cool website. Yeah, let's link to that in the notes. Extra caniuse.com. Yeah, and devdocs.io, I've used this before. The cool thing about this site is it actually lets you take developer documentation offline and it's searchable. So you can get documentation for, and I think I have, yeah, I already have these enabled in my browser, maybe, I don't know. And then you can just search them. So like array.map, how does that work? We see a demo, we see a description of it. Let's actually search for, I know Canvas is in HTML5. Let's take a quick stretch. Let's see, here's, I think it's like a React style question from Jiraj. Let's talk about that. Well, actually, let me just find real quick. Canvas. Can I search for like ellipse? SVG. Oh, so SVG is one way of creating ellipse. You also could use like the Canvas API. Yeah, Canvas rendering context 2D ellipse. So this would talk about how you create this with just plain old JavaScript and no libraries. So you create a canvas, you get the context.ellipse, and that will actually draw it. Cool. That's a thing. Let's write out what Jiraj has asked there. So let's save this as like sample.js. So we have a class A, and it extends component. Let's pretend like we brought in React. And here we have state equals A is 1. And then we have render, which will just return some JSX. Oh, so I think, are you asking about specifically the state part right here? Because Jiraj mentions a class body can only contain methods, but not data properties. How is this then possible? This, I believe, is ES 2017 or 2018. It's a new feature that's been added into JavaScript that allows you to define instance properties on a class by doing this. So this would be the same thing as having a constructor and then saying this dot state equals that object. It's just syntactic sugar, but I can figure out which version of JavaScript it was added in officially, but this is the same thing as this. It's just a shorthand syntax for it. Let's see, ECMAScript class properties. Class variable alternatives. Not sure how exactly to search for it, but it is a thing. Yeah, they're saying this is not possible in ES6. 2018 update. There is now a stage 3 proposal. ES7 and beyond. ES7 property initializers, that's what they are. So these are called property initializers, and they were introduced in ECMAScript version number 7. And basically, it allows you to do something like this. And they also introduced the static keyword. So there's the static keyword in JavaScript now, where you can declare static properties, which would be like, instead of an instance property, saying like a dot thing equals wow. And then now that's static because you access it from the class name and not, well, this is an undefined variable equals wow. But this is static because you access it from the class name rather than the instance. Oh, Oliver is mentioning it's a stage 2 proposal. Let's see. Go. This proposal has been merged with the private fields proposal. This has been merged with the class fields proposal. Interesting. So I'm curious if it's a different thing, because this specifically is, well, it was merged, but it talks about you can now actually have private fields. So you use this hashtag syntax and it creates a private variable. Very interesting. I don't know. Maybe this is different. Let's just search for ES7 property initializers. ES class property declarations. Yeah, they talk about it there. I don't know. Regardless, it's new. It may not be officially in the language yet, but something like Babel will support it. Babel.js. And then it basically will transpile it to put it inside of the constructor. Can I search this for... So if we look at stage 3, does it tell us what we have access to? Don't know, but under the hood, React would be using something like Babel and Webpack. Babel runs your code through this, turns it into something that the browser can actually understand. I digress. Actually, we will link. Let's link to this. This is fun stuff. Extra. ES7. Property initializers. Yeah, but I guess that's one thing to mention. This code right now, I don't believe would work just in Chrome browser. It would have to be transpiled. Yeah. Just real quick, do we have a ES7 compatibility table? There's the ECMAScript 6, 2016 plus. What did we call these? We called these property. So this website shows you what the current browser you're using, what features they support. Apparently, the Chrome I'm using right now has 100% support of 2016 plus. And then next would be anything that's currently a proposal but hasn't been fully approved yet. And let's look for property instance class fields. I think this is the one. Public, private, private. Yes, and this is the one that we eventually got to by clicking Oliver's link. But right now, it's not supported in any browser. Okay, that was fun. Let's keep moving. Let's move on to, I do have learn JavaScript and learn programming. I don't know. Before I move on from that, Oliver mentions the Babel plugin. So it's Babel plugin dash proposal dash class properties. And basically, someone wrote a plugin that takes the code you write that looks like this and turns it into something like this. Transform. Yeah, property initializer syntax. And static class properties, and then those eventually get turned into the thing. Yes, so Oliver's mentioning optional chaining is the best proposal. I've been talking about this for years. I believe C# version 6 or 7 added it, or talked about adding it. But let's just talk about it really quick because it's cool. Optional chaining proposal JavaScript. It just makes so much sense. So the idea is typically when you write JavaScript code, you're like dialing down in some object to get eventually to some like deeply nested property. And along the way, something might be undefined. And you end up writing code like this. So like if user.address exists, then set it equal to user.address.street. But this would allow you to instead do user.address question mark dot street, like this right here. And basically it's saying, if this thing is defined, go ahead and grab this. Otherwise, set street to undefined. And it is a beautiful thing. Yeah, so in C# there is the null condition operator. So null if customers is null. Yeah. And this has been around since 2015, so they've had it for a few years. It's a good thing. Let's post that too. I'm curious though, is there like so it's stage 1. I'm curious if there is a Babel transform for it, because I personally have never used it, but that would be great. Let's look at Babel optional chaining transform. Wow. Wow. Why am I not using this all the time? Yes, like let's link to this. Because I mean the thing is, like, most front-end code we write nowadays has to be ran through Babel anyways. So just use this plugin and then we get it already. We don't have to wait for the browser to support it. It's beautiful. Yeah, Oliver's mentioning this. There's the Babel plugin for it. Cool. Okay. Am I feeling like going through Learn Programming or Learn JavaScript? I see an interesting link here in Learn JavaScript. There's this how to implement quicksort in JavaScript. This is always fun. So quicksort is one of the most common and most efficient sorting algorithms. So this article just, I guess, talks about how to implement it. First, to remove the edge cases, you're going to return the elements if there are one or none elements in the array. So, cool thing, if you have an array of length 1, it's already sorted. You don't have to do anything. So that's like your base case. I guess, and I'm thinking of right now merge sort, which is about as efficient as quicksort, where merge sort basically breaks down an array into arrays of length 1, because it's really easy to sort an array of length 1. It's sorted already. And then you merge arrays together, you merge 2 sorted arrays together, which is a pretty simple algorithm, because because you know they're already sorted, you just compare one at a time and then merge them into a single array with the larger values at the beginning. And then, so you break it down, you merge it back together, and it's sorted. That's merge sort though, that's not quicksort. Okay, so you have a pointer to the array, you have the less than and the more than, the greater than. As you loop through the array, you put everything less than the pointer in the less array and everything more than in the more array. So I guess quicksort is the one that chooses, do we choose a pivot typically? Like this one is choosing the first value in the array to be the pivot. But typically you can like choose a better pivot. And just like that, you have a quicksort algorithm. Yes, so Jiraj is mentioning there's a YouTube video, quicksort with Hungarian folk dance. So when I teach sorting to my students, I pull up these videos. So they have folk dance videos for quicksort, bubble sort, insertion sort, merge sort. They're great. I'm going to pull them up really quick. Sorting dance. Yeah, so there's the bubble sort, quicksort, merge sort. Yeah, these are fantastic. They're basically like dancing with each other, but you see how the sorting algorithm works. Like the dancers will move up or move back. It's really cool. Check those out. Oh yeah, Oliver's mentioning about the optional chaining proposal, it messes with other linting rules. I guess you would have to configure ESLint to somehow detect and know what it is, but yeah. Oliver's saying this channel released new videos recently. Let's check it out. Or backtracking, binary search. Okay, yeah, because all these sorting videos were like from 7 years ago. But yeah, I've been playing these for my students for like the past 2-3 years. Heap sort, linear search, binary search. That's awesome. But yeah, if you look at the quicksort algorithm, if the array length is less than 2, it's already sorted because it's only length 1. Then you have some pointer which is at the beginning of the array. You pick the first value in the array, and then any value that's less than that pointer goes into the less than array. Any value that's greater than goes in the more array. Then we call the quicksort again with less than, and we add that together with the pointer in the middle and the quicksort with the greater than. So you basically have a pivot point and you're sorting both sides of it, and then you know that that pointer is now in sorted order. And then you choose another pointer inside of either the less than or the more than sides. So you're basically sorting like one thing and make sure everything is sorted on around it, and then you gradually do it until everything is sorted. That's pretty cool. Josh is mentioning CS50 lectures. Let's look at it. The famous phone book. It's a short video. Should I play it? Actually, I'll link to it, and then y'all can watch it if you want to. Cool. And I'll link to this article here. How to implement quicksort in JavaScript. Okay. I've been streaming for like 45 minutes. We could find something to implement. I know there were some suggestions. I think Jiraj suggested the React context API. I think was this Bob that suggested this. So as you type words, they get turned into emoji. So like you have a text box, and then any word or partial of a word that gets detected gets turned into an emoji. That would be cool. I haven't really found anything just yet that we can use. Let's look at r/webdev and see if there's any interesting libraries or articles or things out there that we could potentially use. Cool. Hello, Luis. Welcome. We're not coding on anything just yet. I'm kind of just browsing the web. We do have some ideas. Don't really know what I'm going to code just yet, but we'll see. Web Renderer, a framework for rendering user interfaces on the GPU. Let's check it out. Looks like it's a slide deck. Go. This presentation rendered with WebRender. What is WebRender? A framework for rendering user interfaces on the GPU. That's the Rust logo. Does it use Rust? Cool. Animation. A flexible property binding system allows efficient handling of animations. I'm ready to just like be amazed. Like all of a sudden these slides are going to turn into like something amazing. Multi-process, multi-threading, debugging, profiling. How is WebRender different? The traditional 2D pipeline: layout, layers, painting, painted layers, composition, and then output. I mean, and that's, I'm guessing that's like layout would be like your CSS, layers, maybe your HTML elements, and then painting is how they actually get put onto the screen. Or yeah, I don't know enough to talk about this. Let's see. Layout, display, render, output. traditional painting. Okay, so I see it's like a few elements one at a time and they get put on the page. Can we do better? Web render painting. So it's like the images showed up immediately. Cool. Let's read the comments. Oh, there are no comments. Can we actually see like the GitHub repo? Oliver says Rust. I see Rust. Oh, a very incomplete proof of concept GPU renderer for servo. I guess, is servo a Rust thing? A GPU-based renderer for the web, for web content. It's super interesting. I feel like I'm kind of out of my depth right now. Like, I build websites, they run inside of the browser. I don't have, at this point, like much control over that. But apparently, like, your code could be run through these libraries, or you have this renderer running, like, it's, maybe it has something to do with WASM and like native code running inside of the browser. So you actually create a renderer that gets compiled down into something that can run in the browser, and that's what actually displays your web page instead of just like the way we're used to. Super interesting, but I can't speak about it. I don't really know much about it. Oliver's mentioning I should do some Rust coding. Just to mention, so a while back, Brooks Builds came on the show, and we coded a breakout game with P5.js. But Brooks has been streaming himself writing in Rust a lot. So he's been creating a chatbot and like a web server with Rust. So you can check out his channel. He also streamed himself like going through the Rust book. So he has like his entire learning journey of Rust was done like on live stream, which is cool. But maybe we'll put that on the idea list, like CJ tries to code Rust. And Oliver's mentioning Servo is planned for Firefox sometime soon, I think. So would it be that Servo is actually embedded inside of Firefox and that becomes their rendering engine? Like instead of whatever they were using before, now web pages will actually get rendered with Servo when they're running in Firefox? I don't know. Mayur is mentioning GPU.js, which runs on your GPU like CUDA. That's interesting. Oh, that's going to try to go. No, it won't. GPU accelerated JavaScript. Ooh. Prefer massively parallel GPU computations using the GPU. Graceful, pure JavaScript fallback when GPU is not available. Super interesting. So, yeah, I know that I never did any CUDA coding myself, but it was like a custom language for NVIDIA graphics cards that let you write parallel programs to run on the many different GPUs. Well, like, yeah, GPUs on a graphics card, where basically you write code that splits itself up and runs simultaneously. So something like matrix multiplication, where there are lots of things that need to be computed that aren't dependent on each other, meaning they can all happen at the same time, is like a use case for GPU accelerated coding. So let's create a new GPU. Let's create GPU.create kernel. You create a kernel by passing it a function that has its inputs, and then you perform your calculations and set how the output is. And then you call the function, and it runs on all possible GPUs on your computer. That's pretty cool. Cool, I'll link to that. Hello, Amy, welcome to the stream. Amy says, you look a lot like your emoji today, CJ. Why, thank you. I don't know if I have that somewhere convenient, but like in the Discord, Tony created CJ emojis. There's the CJ grin. Can't see it very well, but there it is. And then there's the CJ thinking emoji. But yes, my head is clean shaven. Got a nice, what's this thing called? Top. Head topper. Yeah. Hello, Luis. Luis asked the question, is it possible to use JavaScript to mine cryptocurrency? It is possible. And Oliver's mentioning it's bad, but the reason it's bad is because people will like embed a script on their web page that as long as you have that web page open, it's like using your computer to mine for cryptocurrency. So like you're basically using people's processing power and computers whenever they visit your website, which isn't the best thing, unless they know that you're doing that when you go there. But it is possible. Okay. I'll be honest, I have a bit of a headache. Let's think about what I should build. Anybody watching live, do you have any other suggestions for something that I should build? Right now we have in the list, do something with the React Context API. We have this idea where as you type, the words that you type get turned into emoji if there's a corresponding emoji. Maybe we do something with Rust. I know there were some suggestions in the chat. If anyone that made those suggestions is still watching, throw the suggestion in there again and we'll think about it. Yeah, and Mayur is mentioning Pirate Bay has like JavaScript cryptocurrency mining, like when you visit their site. And I guess the idea is like instead of having to put ads on your website, if you have cryptocurrency mining, instead of looking at ads, you're using your CPU power to help pay for the website. Don't know. Let me look that up. Mayur is mentioning NoCoin for Chrome extension. Block miners on the web. Interesting. A tiny web browser extension that aims to block coin miners such as CoinHive. Suggestion from Jiraj, build a full stack JavaScript application part 2 or old CJ. What do you mean? Well, like let's just build something full stack. Part 2. Like the things that I used to do or some of the first videos that I did. Amy's asking, does caffeine help your headache? A little bit, yeah. The tea is definitely helping. I think I might take some Tylenol before I start coding. Actually, I'll do that. We'll be right back. Throw your ideas in the chat. And I guess I'll say this idea of replacing words with emoji was inspired by something we saw earlier on r/JavaScript. The idea was on this one, every space is replaced with some emoji. So every time you type space, it puts in an emoji. And we thought of instead of putting it in spaces, it just finds words that it knows of and replaces those with emojis. Like world would be replaced with like the world emoji, like that one. Cool. Oh, but I see what you're saying, Siraj. My look has changed. So, like, I guess in my earlier full stack JavaScript application videos, I had like longer hair and like also a longer mustache. I have changed my look since then. This would be really fun. We could use to React to do it. Maybe using the context API. I don't know why we would need to. I guess what we could do is the context API basically allows you to provide data to some like nested components. So our data source could be basically the dictionary of all possible words and their corresponding emoji. Maybe. Other ideas? Someone did mention view transitions and animations earlier. That would be interesting. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, interesting. Karthik is suggesting an app that can warn people about hurricanes. Maybe we can incorporate the context API or view transitions about it. Intro to Redux. I kind of want to like maybe use something that I haven't used before, and like sort of try to learn it right now while I do it. But interesting that you mentioned that because I'm in New York City, which is susceptible to hurricanes. I actually lived in New Jersey when Hurricane Sandy hit, and I've like cautiously been like worried about some hurricane hitting while I'm since I've been here. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Oliver's mentioning I can give you a React setup that has optional chaining enabled. That could be something else that we try to use here. So like, or maybe, so we have ideas and then like constraints. Use optional, I mean, it's not a constraint. It's actually going to be really cool, but optional chaining syntax. It'd be interesting, like instead of giving me something already set up, it'd be interesting to try and add it to a project. So like try to add this Babel plugin and just get it working. That'd be fun to do. I mean, I imagine it'd be fairly easy. So if we did like create React app and then ejected the config and then installed this plugin, or actually we may not even have to eject the config if we just add it to our Babel RC. Or is the Babel RC hidden from us? I don't know. That'd be an interesting challenge, though. Any other ideas? I'll give it. Let me set a timer. We'll just do like another three or 4 minutes. And then I'll pick something and code it. Oliver is mentioning it is a bit of a pain if you don't want to eject. Curious suggestion from Jiraj. I mean, this isn't something I could do just right now, but this could be like a future series. So JavaScript 30 is something by Wes Bos, but the suggestion is to code them using Vue.js instead of vanilla JavaScript. So yeah, this is a video series and basically challenges published by Wes Bos, where over 30 days you just practice using JavaScript and learning JavaScript to do cool things. So it'd be interesting to try and do these challenges with Vue.js instead. David Miller asks, just curious, how long you've been coding? I built my first Calvin and Hobbes fan site when I was 13 years old. So I've been coding like websites for at least 15 years. And programming in the professional world for like getting paid to program and teach people programming for probably 6 or 7 years. Seven years. I mean, I was getting paid to program when I was like interning in college too. So I would say a good solid 10 years of coding, getting paid for it officially for like 7 or 8 years. Cool. There's a suggestion. How about an app which tells you how much you smoked and how much it cost you with no smoking, facts and stuff? I like that. It's like getting people to stop smoking. So like stop smoking calculator. Like how much you smoke, cost per pack, and how much you would save. That's really cool. I'm definitely going to keep this list because like future episodes we can do stuff like that. Jiraj is mentioning Dave Follett is doing something JavaScript 30 with Vue. Let's check him out. Dave Follett. Vue? Is it not on YouTube? A new Vue on JavaScript 30. Yeah, let's check it out. This article is part of a new Vue on JavaScript 30 that explores re-implementing JavaScript 30 projects using Vue. Very cool. I like that he's writing articles about it too. He's just describing like, okay, how do you take this thing that's like in vanilla JavaScript and rewrite it with Vue? Cool, he's just started too. I'll definitely link to this. Yeah, so Oliver's mentioning for this, like, include graphs, and maybe include other vices, like not just smoking, and like how removing that vice from your life can save you money. Cool. David says, thanks, I always enjoy watching you code. Cheers. Appreciate it, David. Okay, any other ideas before we figure out what we're going to do? I guess I'm obviously biased. Like, I really want to do this. I really want to code this. We've been talking about other things, but what if we do this, but then have some restrictions or some constraints on it? Like, we do this, but we have to use React. We have to use the context API, and we have to use optional chaining syntax to make it happen. Oh, and hey, Joe, it's been a while. Welcome. Oh, and Joe says they love the basic React CRUD playlist. Appreciate that. So I'll mention that real quick because it's not super easy to find, but if you go to my channel on playlists, there is a build a CRUD client with React, React 16, React Router, and Bootstrap. So the videos themselves are not public, so you can't really search to find these videos, but the playlist is public. So if you click the playlist, you can see the videos, and it basically walks you through creating a front end for an existing CRUD API. There's a lot of suggestions about smoking. Luis is saying, well, so first, Costa says smoking intervals and frequency, like, I guess this could be something that we graph, or you also include, yeah, so how much you smoke, which would be like intervals or frequency. And then Luis is suggesting a daily cigarette forecast for the smoking calculator. So something like, it's going to cost you $20 today to continue your smoking habit. Are you all just trying to quit smoking and like watching this live stream so that I can help you? Cool. All right. I know that I want to build this thing. I'm just going to build this thing. As you type words, they get turned into emoji. So let's make a README. Emoji writer. Should we use the React context API? I think so. So we're gonna figure out the I've watched a video on it, but I've never actually used it myself. So we'll use the React context API, and maybe figure out if we can implement optional chaining syntax. Now that's interesting too. All these suggestions about the smoking one. I've chosen I'm not going to do that, but it's super interesting. So you link this with Alexa or Google Home, and in the morning it tells you your daily smoking forecast. to tell you in the morning. Amy is saying, I just knew you'd pick the emoji project. I'm extremely partial to it. Like, it's just gonna be cool, and it should be fairly easy. I don't know. All right. Maybe we set a timer. Appreciate that, Oliver. That's gonna save me time if I do set a timer. They're mentioning use the Create React Scripts version 2 beta. Which will allow me to modify the Babel config. Okay. I think I'm going to set a timer and limit myself to 30 minutes? Let's say 30 minute time limit. Or should I make it an hour? 45 minute time limit. Okay, let's say constraints. Uh, 45-minute time limit. Now, you know what? Let's set it to 30 minutes. Let's code this thing and like just get it working in 30 minutes. Okay. 30-minute time limit. We must use the React Context API. Must configure optional chaining syntax with Babel. Okay. Oh, Oliver's mentioning I will still have to eject, but it's the right version for the plugin that I want to use. And Amy is saying 45 minutes because it'll turn into an hour. That's why I want to set it to 30 minutes. Like I'm gonna have a timer on the screen, and in 30 minutes I need to be done with this project. Okay. Okay. Are we ready? I feel like my headache is getting worse. This is not good. Let me collect my thoughts. Oliver, in before optional chaining takes 4 hours to set up. I'm gonna add this to the list. I think I'll have like a I actually do have a Trello board with like a running list of topics and ideas, but Joe is mentioning a page translation project. I know I do have a lot of international viewers, and one thing I haven't done is internationalization of a website. You basically detect the language that the user speaks or that the browser is running under when a user visits your website, and change all of the words on the page to be their specific language. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my headache is fine. It's just like, Maybe it's the impending doom of I know that I'm not going to be able to finish in 30 minutes. Okay. I feel like I keep stalling. I'm going to go to the restroom. But when I come back, I'm going to start this. I will be right back. Let me do this real quick. Okay, 2-minute break, right back. All right, we're back. Let's catch up. Joe says, yes, everyone should know you, CJ. Appreciate that. Okay. Let me know in the chat, should I start a 30-minute timer right now, or should I plan out what I'm going to do, then start the 30-minute timer? Or should planning be started with the... You know what? Let's start the timer. Let's just start the timer. We're going to make this thing happen. Okay, all this goes away. And remember, this was our inspiration. Every space inserts an emoji. Okay. Timer tab. Let's pull this out here. We want a 30-minute timer. Wait, don't start just yet. And it really is... it's probably going to take me 30 minutes to get Babel set up with optional chaining and like the context API. Okay, people are saying plan first. I think I'll plan first. I will. So make sure I have like my list of steps, what do I want to do, and then set the timer to like make it happen. Okay, but I will do something like this. Okay. But yes, let's write out the plan. So we have our constraints, but to do, what do we need to do? So first thing is we're going to need to set up create React app v2, and then we'll need to eject the config. Then we'll need to add optional chaining plugin. We linked to that earlier, which was this. So we'll need to add that in and get it configured. Add and configure optional chaining plugin. Let's just put the URL there. Okay, then we'll need to configure. Well, actually, I mean, we'll need to learn about the context API, figure out what it is, but configure context API. I know some of the contexts in there are like the provider, and is it called the consumer? I don't know, but we're gonna have to set those things up. Then we'll need to research to find a list of emoji names. So what I'm thinking is the context API is all about data. So basically you have data somewhere and then you want to provide it to some component in your React app. And our data is going to be like a giant list of names of emojis. So we're going to need to find some project that gives us like a human readable name of an emoji like fire, and then gives us the corresponding emoji. So that way we can search through the text and replace all occurrences of a given word with some emoji that we have. Now, we can decide right now, do we want to replace partial words? Like, for the word fireplace, would I actually replace this with fire? Or is it only whole words? I'm going to go ahead and say it's only whole words. So if I did fire space place, then I would get fire. I'm just saying that now because I know that it's going to be a lot harder to search for like partial replacements. Yeah, and it could be a lot slower too. So what I want to do, so research to find a list of emoji names. The constraints are on here. On here will be like have a text box where the user enters their text. As the text changes, replace whole words with emojis. So you'll be typing anytime I guess pretty much anytime you press space will detect if there are any words that need to be replaced. Let's say something like, yeah, as the user types, when they press space, replace any valid emoji words with emojis from our list. Okay? So that should be it. And then we just need to be sure to use optional chaining in there somewhere. Am I missing anything? Okay. Oliver did give me a link to a React app. I guess that's pre-configured. It does have Redux in it. Oh. I think I'm just going to attempt to figure this out. I think also, if at any point things just aren't working, I'm going to stop and just focus on getting the app working rather than satisfying our constraints. But we'll see. Yeah, and Oliver is mentioning the way we'll use optional chaining is like on this list of emojis that we have. Okay. I think I'm ready. Deep breath. Time to code. And away we go. So first thing is we need to set up create React app v2. I've never used v2, so let's find it. This is the v2. It's much better written and uses React Router 4, which is, this is server-side rendered create React app version 2. I'm going to spend 5 minutes just finding create React app v2. Do I get it from create React app, but there's a specific version? Let's see. Yeah, so there's the next tab. Guess we want the latest version. This is scary. Should we do next, which was 8 days ago? Let's do it. So in this directory, I want to create a React app. I'm going to do npx create React app at that version. Oh man, well, it's going to tell me I need a folder name, I believe. Oh. Please specify a project directory. Okay, so we want emoji writer. And this should use version 2. Oliver is telling me there's an issue. Let's just see if this works. Hey, John, welcome to the stream. Let's see what Oliver's telling me. Roadmap for React. Oh, so React scripts version 2 already merged. Likely land. Yes, okay, so what I have to pass in scripts version. Yarn upgrade React scripts. Did I just do A76? Okay, cool. So, no. Stop it. So that created emoji writer directory. I believe I already have this open up in code. So let's look at it. And if we look at our package JSON, we have React scripts version 1, but no, we want React scripts version 2. So this command will upgrade it to version 2. Yeah, and the main thing about this latest version of React, the Create React app, it includes Babel 7. I believe the older one was like Babel 5 or 6. The latest Jest, all of the latest stuff. We're on the bleeding edge. Okay, so if we look back at our package JSON, our React scripts are updated. Let's see what happens if we yarn start it. It broke, or did it? Oh, requires a dependency ESLint. Don't try to install it manually. Delete your package lock JSON. Ah! Let's start over. Let's remove that directory and rerun the command using the command that they gave us. Emoji writer. So we're gonna close this, go away that folder, and then we're just gonna try one more time with this command. So the folder is gone. Now we'll try this command, emoji writer. Okay, go. Yeah, Oliver's mentioning I should just remove the folder and try again. Five minutes to create a React app. All right, here we go. Go to the folder, yarn start. No! Oh, it could be that I have ESLint installed globally. Come on. Requires a dependency ESLint. Don't try to install it manually. Your package manager does it automatically. However, a different version of ESLint was detected higher up in the tree. Yes, because I have it installed globally. Manually installing incompatible versions. Okay, so I think I need to uninstall ESLint globally. It's complaining that thing exists. This is an excellent use of time. Let's try now. Oh no, it still exists. User CJ, oh, I have it installed in my home directory. Okay, home directory. Get rid of all those node modules. Oh, but that's, this is not good, just go away. Okay, try again. Whoa, okay. Roughly 6 minutes to get a React app going. Oh, that's nice. Create React app version 2. Look at that. Okay. There's a question about what is npx. It allows you to run a command from npm without installing it globally. Okay, so we've got React going. That's awesome. But now we need to eject it. So we do have eject. And what eject does is it takes all of the configs that are hidden from us inside with this React scripts and puts them in the directory so that way we can modify the Babel plugins and such. So we need to run yarn eject. Are you sure you want to do it? It's permanent. Yes, go. Oh God. I need to commit before I do this. Yeah, but I have like a repo that's like above it. Oh, did it create? Yeah, oh, this is old stuff that I never committed. Oh well. Oh no. Oh well. Sparkles, bug, things are happening. Okay, now if I go into today's directory, emoji writer, yarn eject, go. Yes. Okay, it's a good sign. Cool, so we have ejected. Now we have all of these dependencies in here. Specifically, Babel core is version 7, which is what we needed. And now in our config, all the good stuff. But scripts. But I think in our package.json, is that where our Babel config is now located? Cool. Regardless, we have set it up. We have ejected it. Now we need to figure out how to add the optional chaining thingy to it. So getting set up. Save it as a dev dependency. We'll use yarn to do it. So do yarn add -- dev. Oliver says this has gone a bit downhill, I think. Well, we're going to make it happen. Okay, so I have that. When you eject, do I just need to create a Babel RC file? Let's see. Like, is Babel in here somewhere? Babel loader, options. Oh, because it says Babel RC is false. Presets. So presets are there, but we need to add a plugin. Ugh. React scripts add Babel plugin. Help me. Full stack React. Where are Babel plugins and presets and how to use them? Can I just put it in the Babel RC? Let's put it in the Babel RC and see what happens. So in the Babel RC, I now need to just do this. So let's just touch.babel RC. And now in here, if I do this, will it detect it? No idea, but let's try it. So in my React app, in app.js, take a quick stretch. Yeah, let's try it. So, but in my React app, I don't know, let's say like in the constructor, I do some optional chaining stuff. So I have a person, and the name is CJ, but then it has a location, and that's an object, and that has a city, which is NYC. So the location will be person dot location. So if person dot location is not defined, then let's grab the city, and then we'll log the location. Can I do this? Let's see. It should tell me like syntax error if not. Ooh. It worked. I saw NYC in the console, but I forgot to call super in my constructor. City, missing semicolon. Look at that. But this is, okay. Missing semicolon, city is not defined. It's complaining about this. I need to tell it about My optional chaining plugin. Let's do this. React app plugin. Are they linting rules? Like, do I just need to just disable the linter rule in the Webpack config? Lint. First, run the linter. How about no? And then we'll kill it. So let's not even run the linter and just see what happens. Oh my goodness. Okay, we don't have linting support anymore, but I'm getting NYC, which means this is working because, check this out. If I were to actually set, like, let's say location is not defined, then it should log undefined. Beautiful. We absolutely got that working. That's exciting. Okay. In a partial way, like in a real app, I would want my linter to work, but regardless, let's get into the React Context API. Okay, the doc's on the context. When to use context? I don't know. I don't care about when to use it. I want to use it. Before you use it, no. Create a context. Okay, oh wow, I think I was right on the terminology, provider and consumer. So you pass in some value that you need. Show me an example. So you create a context with this, like it's passing in this object. That's the default value. And then you create a consumer that gets access to the default value, and then it has access to foreground and background. And then in your app, you wrap the toolbar in the provider, and well, where's the theme button? Theme button is inside of updating context from a nested component. Regardless, I think we can do this. Let's just say we need to create the context. Okay, so in here, so I get rid of that. I know optional chaining is working. Okay. So yes, I need to create a context. Our default value right now, let's just say it's an array, an object that has emojis on it. And emojis is an object, and it has like smile, and that has the value of smile. Cool. So this gives us the provider and the consumer. Really, we could just put this in a variable called like emoji context. And then we have access to emoji context.provider and emoji context.consumer. So let's do this in the app itself. There is a header, but let's get rid of it. And just an h1, hello emojis, wave. And we can get rid of the logo. What do we get? Cool. But now let's try to use our context API thingy. So, I mean, technically, you really want to do this if you have nested components. Okay, so what if... So let's put the emoji context in a separate file. So we have a new file. Let's call this emoji context.js. And that is going to take in the emoji context. Okay, and we'll export default emoji context. Great, and we need to import React in. Okay, so we have the emoji context here. Now let's create a component called like emoji text box. .js. And we'll need to import React from React. And we'll just export default. Maybe we can make this a stateless functional component, emoji text box. So this itself takes in props and then just returns like a text area. And the text area will say hello world inside of it. Cool. And then let's, well, I guess I don't need that. Do I need const? Export default emoji text box. Okay, so this is exporting this component, which is a text area, and then we'll bring this component into app.js. So let's import emoji text box from emoji text box, and then right below the H1 we'll show the emoji text box. Does it work? It doesn't. Emoji text box is not defined. I guess typically I do it like this, like create the variable and then export the variable. Cool, so we got a text box. I believe use the default value or value props instead of setting children on text area. Okay, so let's do that. So right now value is just equal to that. I believe we can do like rows 10, columns 20. What does that give us? We want more columns. 50. Cool. Provide a value on prop to a form without an on-change handler. This will render a read-only field. That's fine. Okay, so we got a text box. Now we want to give this text box access to the context. So we create the consumer. So I think I'm going to import the consumer in here. Emoji context. We'll import the context from emoji context. And then this text area will now get wrapped in the consumer. And the consumer, the child, is a function that gets access to, I don't know, like the data. And then returns the element itself. They're doing it like this. And typically, I guess you want to include all of your existing props on it. Oh, maybe we don't, but no, because it's not a custom component, is it? I don't know. We'll keep it. Yeah, so that'll be like if the parent defines props on emoji text box, they actually get defined on the text area as well, which is, I guess, what we want. And then let's put like smile here. So we have that. We have theme, which, well, in this case is data, and I think we can just use it. So let's do something like this. So let's say the value is this, and we'll just to see if this works, let's replace smile with data.emojis.smile. And we should actually get an emoji in the text box. What happens? It works. It actually works. This is not how we're going to do it, but that means that we're getting the data from the consumer, or from the creator, which is here, and then we get access to that data here. So data.emojis is exactly equivalent to like this object.emojis. So we're getting it in there. That's the consumer, but what is the provider? What do I do with the provider? I'm confused. Let me look at the chat really quick. Yeah, so there's an extension in VS Code that shows me my import extension. It's called import cost. It'll tell you how big the imports are. Yeah, import cost. Yeah, everybody answered. Good job, thank you. Okay, I have the consumer. I guess in this case, I don't necessarily need a provider. When do I need a provider? The entire state is passed to the provider. So value, oh. You can actually set what the, I see. So in this case, because we have not specified a provider, it's just getting the data as it's defined here. But a provider can actually set what the data is. So I think we'll probably want to use that. Okay. So let's do that. So in app.js, we need to set up a provider that wraps it. So we'll say something like emoji textbox.provider. And then the emoji text box goes, oh no, sorry, not emoji text box. We need to import emoji context. And so this will be emoji context.provider, and we can set the value to be what we want it to be. So in this case, if we now pass the value in as something like emojis, and then we say smile is actually like the poop emoji, now we should see the smile show up as poop. Yes! Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, and so that's what the context basically allows you to provide some different data to it. But if you didn't have a provider, it would just use the default data in the context. Oh, okay, this is great. We're good. We got 6 minutes, but now we just need to find a list of emojis. Okay. List of emoji names, like library or something like that. Emoji names library. Search Google. JS emoji and a JS emoji conversion library. Replace unified. But does it just give us, okay, we have an emoji converter. Does it just give us a big table of emojis? Lib, emoji.js. This is a really big file. I've got 6 minutes. Can I do it? Oh, it's using images? This is too much. I literally just need a list of emojis and then corresponding values. So this is it. Okay. Returns the emoji code for coffee. Emoji.get. Yes. So basically, you'll have to iterate over all of the words and then see if there's an emoji code. Okay, we're going to use this. Node emoji. Where are we at? No. Yarn add node emoji. Oh, Oliver found one. Let's just look real quick. Emoji.json by Amio. Just an emoji JSON. You have to index into it though. I'm gonna go with node emoji. Okay, so we've got node emoji. So basically what we need is when the text box changes, we need to replace its contents with the data. So I'll say something like on change. This is going to get the event. And then I think we can, well, actually, if we create it, I'm doing this totally wrong. I should be like binding it so that way it has actual state and I can set the value. Okay, this is what we need to do. This whole thing needs to become the render function for emoji text box, because I don't want to pass it between the parent and the child. So here's what we do. We have class emoji text box extends component. And then this now has this, which actually is the render function. Render? Render. And then I need to bring in a component from React as well. And doesn't have that, but we'll do this dot props. These need to be curly braces. Oh wait, no, they don't. That needs to go there. This needs curly braces, and then we return this whole thing. 3 minutes. I can do this. I can do this in 3 minutes. It's nothing. Okay, this should work exactly the same way, but now it's just in a class component. Cool. But now we have some state, which is like the text, which is initially empty. And the value here will be, well, actually, let's make the text this, well, this, but with single quotes. And the value here will be this.state.text. And then we need to listen for when it changes. So when it changes, we'll do this.text changed. And then we need a function text changed. This gets access to the event. And then we need to do this.setState. We're going to get access to, so we need to set text to be event.target.value. And we need to replace all of the emojis. So we're going to split this on spaces and then map over it and get access to each word. And then we're going to bring in the emoji library and say, oh, this is where I can use optional chaining. Yes. OK, so we'll import node emoji from node emoji. And then we'll say emoji.get word. Oh, no, I can't use optional chaining there, can I? Ugh, I just want to get it to work. Or the word itself. And then join it back together on spaces. This is it. It's going to work. Hello. Oh. It's happening too fast. Because it's like, I do the letter H. Oh no! Oh no, I ran out of time. Okay. Really, I don't want this on changed. I want this like on if the key up. Okay. I've run out of time. I'm going to give myself, I think, like an extra 10 minutes to figure this out and potentially also use optional chaining because I don't really want to replace, I don't want to replace the things that have already been replaced, which is the issue right now because it's, oh yeah, and then I'm not using the emoji, I'm not using the provider anymore. I'm just using this library. So technically, I ran out of time. Technically, I'm using the provider, but I'm not actually using it. I think my provider needs to have a function called like get emoji, and that's what I'll call this. Okay. I didn't do it in 30 minutes, but I'm actually pretty proud of the fact that I got optional chaining set up, even though I had to disable linting. And the fact that, yeah, it's kind of working. Let's see. Let's catch up on the chat. Yeah. Oliver's mentioning it needs to be stateful. So that's what I decided. Like I had the stateless component, but I was like, it needs state because it's got to update itself. And then I could have just used refs and just like reference it. I don't know. Yeah, so I could do like the space triggers it. Yeah, and Oliver's mentioning it, so like it works sort of, but I'm not using optional chaining and I'm not taking advantage of my actual context API. Cool. Yeah, my linter, because it's off right now, but it's not. So this is valid syntax. This is the we talked about this earlier, the property initializer syntax. So it's valid. My linter just doesn't like it. Okay, let's put 15 more minutes on the clock. Let's get this working with the provider, or the provider, and then also we'll get it working on when space happens. Take a quick drink of water. Actually, though, this might make a better case for using the emoji JSON. Okay, I'm just putting 15 more minutes on the clock. But the emoji JSON that Oliver mentioned, because technically, we could take this big ol' object and make that the data that's inside of our provider. I think I like that better, actually. The only issue I see, though, is that the name has multiple words. But what if we just took the first word and that's... No. I don't know. Face with steam from nose. Like, is there a world here? Globe? We could check to see if any one of the keywords, I just imagine it's going to be extremely slow if we're looking at thousands of emojis and like trying to match it against their keywords. We could also just pick like the default one. Okay, let's do this. We're going to install emoji JSON instead of node emoji. How do I get it from npm? Emoji.json. Cool. So we before added node emoji. Let's remove it. And then we'll add emoji JSON. While that's adding, this should no longer work. And we shouldn't access it directly. We should be using the context. But now, I guess in the change event, we need to pass in the context so that way we can use it. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, Oliver. Like, we'll build a map. Like, we'll go over this big array and make some sort of, like, index of, like, keywords with their corresponding emoji. Yeah, that's definitely what we're going to do. I guess the other thing I'm thinking, though, is so our provider is here, and that gives us access to data, which will have the emojis on it. But what we need is in the change event, or I guess, so technically, let's simplify this. So like, in the change event, we just need to set e.target.value. That's great. So this should get it working as a normal text box should. Like I can type, that's great. And that's because of, we have our state, and then we have when the box changes that. What we can do is also add a key up listener, and if the key up is space, we'll call like the replace on the current text. So we'll do key up on key up, this dot key up. And if e dot key code, let's actually just log it. I think it's key code, and we'll check to see if that is space. Dot key. It's dot tar. So event dot target dot. Well, no. Key code. What if I log the key code? Yes. So 32 is space. So if e.keycode is equal to 32, then we'll have to call a method. We'll just say like this dot update emoji text. And then we'll have a function, update emoji text, that does just that. Do the thing. But now what I'm thinking about is, okay, the consumer gives us access to the data right here. So how do we get it in there? I mean, I think we can just like pass it down. We could bind it, but I think we could also pass it down. So like key up is the thing that cares about the data. So we could pass it the event and then also the data from the provider. And then in here, we get access to data. And if we need it, really, we'll pass in data. And then this thing will get data. And then we can actually like do something with it. For now, I'll just log the data. So if there is ever a space key press, so I'll type, I press space, that function now gets access to the data that's provided. Cool. So now let's go to the provider here and let's build up its data using the actual what do you call it, the library that we just installed. And I guess we'll do that here. We'll set value equal to like emoji map. We'll say emojis is emojis. We're going to create a variable up above called emojis. So like emojis right now is an object, but we need to bring in the emoji JSON like this. Well, this. Oh no, that's just an array. I should be, okay, but I should be able to import it like this though. I should be able to say import emoji JSON from, and I don't want the compact one, I just want that. And if I set emojis to be emoji JSON, now when I press space, we should see that giant array. Yeah, an array of 16,000 items. But what we need to do is turn this into an object where the left-hand side are the, I guess like the keywords, and the right-hand side are the corresponding emoji. So this is where the code challenge basically here is. Now, oh, interesting. So use a render function to move the consume outside of the emoji text box so that you can add it to the props of the component. I don't know. But you're right, Oliver. Emojify is absolutely a better name for this. Emojify. Let's call it that. Cool. All right, let's build up this map. So emoji JSON is an array. So we need to map over it. Well, we want to reduce it because we're going to be turning it into an object. So this is going to give us access to each individual emoji. But we will be creating emojis. And we're going to be building up an object. So what we want is we want to, for instance, take the keywords, because the keywords are like the single word ones. We'll split them on pipe and trim it. So let's say like keywords are going to be emoji.keywords.split on pipe. So that's going to give us an array. But then we do want to remove all the extra space. So let's map. Oh, that should be fine. So map over it. That's going to give us each individual keyword. And I really don't even need to map it. What I want to say, though, is for that given keyword, and we're just going to be overriding it. We're going to say emojis at keyword.trim, so remove the white space, is equal to emoji dot what? Emoji dot char. And so I'm going to get a giant object of keywords, and then I need to return emojis. So this is actually going to overwrite some, but it should do what we want. Let's see. So if I press space, we now get a giant object. Oh, this is going to take forever to log. But the left-hand side are the keys, and the right-hand side are the emojis. So like angry, alphabet, smile will probably be in here somewhere. And there are multiple things that had the smile keyword, so it's just going to take the last one that had the name smile. Let's see. LMNO. Smile. So it took the last one, which is the cat smile. We could create like a linked list of sorts, which like instead of just that one, that smile, it could create like a whole array, and then we pick one out of it. But that's fine. We have the object now. Let's do it. So for each, so now in our emojify, we have access to this this object. So we need to create some new text. So we'll say something like this.state.text, and we need to, so emojified text is going to be that, and then we split it on spaces, basically what we did before, and then I was just thinking, like, where can we use optional chaining? We're not using it anywhere. But regardless, so we split it. We need to then map it. That's going to give us each word. We want to say if our data.emojis at that word exists, or just get the word itself. And then we'll join that back all together on space. And then we need to update state. So text will now be emojified text. What happens? Space. Oh. Hello world. How are you today? Weird things are happening. It could be that these, and let me like zoom in. The spaces it's detecting, so like world. Smile. Let's do some debugging. I guess I could do word.toLowercase as well. I mean, that's not going to fix anything, but what a useless time spent adding that Babel plugin. Yeah, I think so. World. World? There's like a map. I guess we could see what emoji we're getting. I think one issue might be is like some emojis are multiple characters, and you, let's see, can I split with a regular expression? Like we could split on each individual word followed by a space, right? So match any word followed by one or more space. Let's see what happens. Split on space. Let's see what's happening here though. It's replacing a space on space. Oh. Let's see. So let's just not do this all on one line. So the found emoji is going to be this, and let's log the found emoji and the word itself, and then if emoji was found, return found emoji, otherwise return the word itself. Oh, it's finding like a space. But what if we, are you telling me there's no emoji for world? But what about smile? Okay, that actually worked. But then there's like a space in there for whatever reason. It's replacing the spaces. Just log it like that. Ah, the empty string. Okay. If not word, return nothing. Okay. Smile, you're on candid camera. Yes! Oh, okay. The issue I found was that there was an empty string in my emoji thingy. So if there were any empty strings in the thing, then it was replacing that with like that weird emoji. That's what was happening. So like if I do like globe, basketball, football, soccer. Wow. This is awesome. This is so cool. Okay, so we can stop with all this debugging. So basically, let's turn this into a ternary. So if not word, so if word, then return data at emojis.word to lowercase. Else we want oh wait, so if word, then if this exit or word, else empty string. I think this is a one-liner that does all of that. Okay. Wide web. Yay! Try R. Smile, you're on candid camera. Are you watching me today? So I think one thing we could, oh, the timer ran out. When did the timer run out? I don't know, but we did it. Yay! One thing we could do now is like partial matching of a word. That's only, I feel like that's only going to get, it's going to get really tricky because we have thousands of emojis that we have to search through to see if a specific part of a word matches that emoji. But what did you mean, Oliver, by try R, like A-R-E again? I guess the other thing is if a word like ends in punctuation, I kind of want it to like use the word. Okay, but and someone was asking, explain the fix again. The fix was there was text that was the empty string, and in my emoji object, like if we just log data, there is the empty string in that big ol' object, and oh, I guess it's not. Yeah, here it is. So empty string for whatever reason is this, and anytime there was an empty string, it was getting replaced with that. So the fix was if it's an empty string, just return nothing because it doesn't need to appear in the new array. Oh, that's a good call, Oliver. So I succeeded in time, but multiple spaces are disallowed in the text. So like if I do space, 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 it's going to replace any, oh, no, place, metal, 1 o'clock, 1:30, wow. Someone give me some text that I need to write. Yeah, and let me scroll back up. I think Oliver was providing like a regular expression. So use replace on starts with one or more spaces. So Oliver is suggesting split on one or more space. So double spaces are ignored, and then you want to add them back. But so technically this should still work though, because I'm not, if the word is falsy, but technically a space is not falsy. So it should keep extra spaces. Oh, wave. And so that's the tricky thing about how I solved it right now. Like, if there is some other emoji that like smile, wave, frown, sad, it's not just choosing one emoji, like there's multiple. This could be a whole nother thing. So like you type a word, you press space, and then it gives you all possible options for the word smile. Oh yeah, so yeah, what happens if I have, oh yeah. What? Water? Smile? Whoa? Okay. So yeah, new line breaks it. So like smile, camera. Yeah, so the new lines aren't getting detected. So I need to change split to /s to allow line breaks. So I think one thing I could do though is, okay, so this part right here is replacing one line of text. So first I could split it on new lines and then replace each line one at a time. So let's create a little function, replace line. And so this takes in the text and then returns that. And so split it on new lines, then map over that and replace the line, and then join it back on new lines. Whoa! This dot state dot, oh sorry, dot text dot split on new lines, map it, replacing each line, and then join it back together. Smile. Hello. Wave. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Wave. Cool. And then a really good suggestion, I think I want to implement this, and then I'll call it for this, is instead of just choosing one emoji, it will choose one random emoji for that given keyword. And I guess the thing about this is it's like, fairly performant. Oop. What about the tab character? Oh, I can't, it doesn't accept tabs. You're finding too many edge cases, Oliver. Okay, but here's what I want to do. When we build up this, these emojis here, instead of overwriting it, we can create an array of emojis and then choose one out of that array. So emojis at that equals itself or an array, and then emojis at that dot push that. And so now we should get an array of, an object with a bunch of arrays instead of just one. So each entry in here is now an array of all possible ones that have that. Cool, so like smile should have multiple in there now. Edge cases for life. Did you notice anywhere, where can I use optional chaining? Oh yeah, well, yes, here, right? On when pushing into the array. No, but I need to set it to an array. I can't, I'm not really using any, I haven't found a place where I could use optional chaining. But, So for example, smile has 18 different versions of a smile. So now we just need to choose a random one. So get the emojis at that given word, and if it doesn't exist, get the word. Let's do this. We're gonna get weird with it. So let's just wrap that in brackets. And then, oh, then we don't, I need to create some variables here. So this needs to be a function. If not word, just return empty string. Otherwise, you grab out the emojis. If emojis exist, then we need to get a random one. Else, we just need to return the word itself. And here, we'll just say chosen emoji. Well, we can just return it. So we'll return emojis at math.floor of math.random times emojis.length. So that should give us a random emoji. So if I do smile, we get that one, we get that one, we get that one. Cool, so it gets a random one every time. Oh. Yeah, push doesn't return the array. So we're trying to figure out how do we get some optional chaining in here. Oh, can I do this? Return emojis, and then if it exists, index into it. Otherwise, return the word. Yeah? Syntax error. I feel like that would work. Maybe it doesn't. It's not designed to work like that. We got to fit some optional chaining in here somewhere. Push into the array. But yeah, the thing is we're not returning anything here. We're like setting it in this reduce to this object. Oh, I have to put a, okay, it should work. This will be our optional chaining, oh sorry, optional chaining thing that we do, but I just have to put a period. But then I have to do dot brackets. Yes! Thank you, Oliver. So we got one optional chaining in there. Okay, I think I'm done. I took way longer than expected, but that was fun. Look at the world. Look at that world. Or that world. Hello? No. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. There we go. There's a garden. None of those words actually have emoji corresponding emojis. Okay, that was fun. Let's deploy this really quick so everybody out there in the world can try it. Oh, not npm. Sorry, yarn run build. There are a lot of quirks. There are a lot of edge cases. So if you'd like to contribute, I'll create a GitHub repo. I'll create a GitHub repo, and you can make pull requests and like add on to this. This could actually get really cool. I need to remove all of these console logs for this thing to build. Where am I console logging? In service worker? Come on. That's not even my code. I guess I have to comment out. So right now my build config, I commented out the linter in dev. I'm just going to comment out the linter in production as well. Lint. First, run the linter. No. Go. Yes, and Oliver's mentioning so worth that messy installation for that 1 minute reduction. The first half of the video was spent configuring optional chaining just to get this right there. Okay, it's done. Can we go into build? And let's deploy it with now. There we go. We're on the internet, emojivrider.now.sh. You know what? I kind of want to increase the font size of everything really quick. Font size 4 M's. It's way too big. 2M? I guess really, I only want to change the text area. Do I need to do something more specific? I could give it a class. Equals emoji text. Wow. Cool. Now it's way too big. Let's make it less rows and columns. Columns 40. Cool. Smile, 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 smile. Cool. Yeah. This was great. This is an absolutely useless project, but it was super fun to make. Let me just deploy one last time, and then I'll end the stream, and this was super fun. Yarn run build. And I guess the thing is, because I was so focused on getting this thing done, I did miss a lot of questions in the chat. Oliver says M's for font sizes is weird. I guess should I be using rims? But M's are relative to the parent? I don't know. If anyone has questions, like, ask them now, because I missed them in the chat earlier because I was so preoccupied with just getting the thing done. It's not the latest version. Oh well. There's the link. Oh, that's great. So paste like Hamlet into it or something. I love that. I love that idea. So like take some like Shakespeare words or like stuff and see what happens. Hamlet text. The entire play in full. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to find any words. Let's also see like how performant my app is in replacing all of these things. Probably shouldn't try on something this big, but let's see. I'm gonna open the dev tools just in case. Oh, that's not right. Copy, paste. All right, I'm gonna press the space bar. No way. It worked. Okay. The tragedy of Hamlet, King of Denmark. Scene 1, at platform before the castle. And I am Pill at heart. Have you had Shushguard? I hear them. Stand ho, who's there? Why hath, who hath, what is this? And will not let belief take hands of him. With us to watch the 10 minutes of this night, that if again this oppression come, he may approve our rolling eyes and speak to it. This is great. This is so good. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I guess I will point out, I streamed earlier today and showed behind the scenes. So before I did this stream, I talked about what actually goes into setting up for this stream. So you can check out that video on my channel here. And I just talk about like what is the different hardware I use and how everything plugs together and how I do this stream I have here. And someone was like, how did I get here? And I guess big shout out to Dan from Coding Train. He shared on his community tab that I was doing that. Let's go. And random people were like, why am I being recommended this random person's channel? Oliver saying, I liked thou art a scholar, using a painting for art. Thou art a where was it? Oh yeah, thou art. And it's using a painting. That's awesome. Cool. Awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll post this code up. Feel free to like make pull requests and just make it cooler and maybe fix some of the bugs that I didn't account for. Briggs is asking when will be the next live stream. Tony and I are going to do an intro to collaborating with Git and GitHub on Sunday. So watch the channel for upcoming live streams. I'll put it up here pretty much right after the stream. So tomorrow, wait, what? Stop playing. What's happening? Okay. But tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is 1300 GMT minus 4, we'll be talking about intro to Git and GitHub. So tune in for that. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. You're all awesome. Stay awesome. And I'll see you next time. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. See ya.